Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Friday the 21st of March. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. Traffic will be reduced to one lane over Tauranga Harbour Bridge this weekend as part of annual inspections on the region's bridges. The Harbour Bridge will be partially closed by the NZTA with one lane remaining open from 7 a.m. on Sunday. The NZTA advises drivers to allow extra time for journeys or find alternative routes. A number of other bridges around the Bay of Plenty are also affected by the inspections, including Ruahihi Bridge, Wairoa River Bridge, Te Puna Stream Bridge and Aongatete Stream Bridge. A full list is available at nzta.co.nz. Eating yummy exotic food and picnicking with many others from the community became a bit of an institution over the summer. The Mount Maunganui Gourmet Night Market was held every Friday night over 3 months and was a huge success, with well over 6,000 people attending the last one of the season. Event organiser Kim Renshaw says there is one special market though before everything is packed away for winter.
So the Earth Hour event is a collaboration between Earth Hour and the Gourmet Night Market and the Mau Performing Arts. We are collaborating together to produce an event that is all about environmental aspects. The whole market's going to be off the grid and we're using a solar powered generator to run the stage, so it's going to be awesome.
Hamilton City Council recently considered proposals for the 2014-15 draft annual plan, which included a 5-year plan for the Hamilton Gardens, maintaining city safety, developing the city's playgrounds and free swimming at city pools for the under 5s. Hamilton Mayor Julie Hardacre explains that this doesn't extend to free swimming lessons.
Fantastic, right? If you're under 5, you can swim free. That's the idea. We've still got to get that confirmed by the public through consultation, but that's the plan. So anyone can turn up and say they're under 5. Got to check that out a little bit, and then the pools are free for them to swim.
In sport, and Hamilton's Waterworld plays host to another major swimming competition this weekend, with the Central Swimming Championships running from today through to Sunday. This important meeting will see both the 50-metre and diving pools closed to the public. However, the indoor 25-metre pool and outdoor pool will still be accessible. Staying with swimming, and Waikato will be well represented at the 2014 Swimming New Zealand Awards in Auckland next month, with 7 finalists in 6 categories. Matamata Swimming Club's Matthew Stanley is up for National Swimmer of the Year as well as the People's Choice Award. You can vote for the People's Choice Award at facebook.com/2014 Swim Awards. Nikita Howarth from Cambridge Swimming Club and Jessie Reynolds from Fairfield Swimming Club are finalists for Swimmer of the Year with a Disability Award. And St Peter's Swimming Academy is hoping to win the Community Swimming Club of the Year award. Fairfield is well represented with Bradley Ashby up for Emerging Swimmer of the Year and Ken Nixon for Club Coach of the Year. Taking a look at the marine forecast now. The west coast, 10 knots, tending southeast to 15 knots, easing on Sunday, variable of 10 knots. A moderate southwest swell, easing Saturday. Heading to the east coast and the southeast should ease to 10 knots in the morning, easing to a variable of 5 knots on Sunday morning. Still to come on Central News, we talk to a local dragon boat team, find out about the giant pumpkin carnival. That's next on Central News. Welcome back to Central News. The Great Pumpkin Carnival is now in its 5th year and is growing in popularity and size of pumpkins. The pumpkin seeds were planted months ago and have been tended carefully in preparation for attempts at world records. I spoke with one little girl who's growing big pumpkins and co-organiser Sam Elton Waters about an exciting twist to this year's weight records. Sam, how many years has the carnival been going?
This is the 5th year we're running the carnival at Hamilton Gardens, and every year it's getting bigger and better. We're getting a lot more people from outside of the area turning up with pumpkins and seeing what's going on, and we're also getting bigger and bigger pumpkins every year.
Why pumpkins?
Out of everything that you can grow into a giant, the pumpkins are probably the biggest vegetable, and just growing something from such a small seed into a giant vegetable that takes more than 2 or 3 people to move is just something pretty amazing.
Do giant pumpkins make good eating?
No, not at all. They're mainly made up of water and they taste really, really bland. And when the guys have been using a lot of fertiliser and the pumpkins soak that up, it's probably not advisable to be eating something like that.
How do you grow a giant pumpkin? Is it a specific breed of seed?
Yeah, you start off, you have to get an Atlantic giant seed, and that's all giant pumpkins come from that type of seed. And then when you get more and more into it and more involved, it comes down to genetics of the seeds.
And where do you get them from?
You can get them from any local grower that you know, they're bound to have some. But when you want the top genetics and you want the best you can get, you'll be getting them from the USA.
Tell me about the weigh-in. What time does it start?
It's a very exciting event. We have the weigh-in between 10 and 12 for all the pumpkins, and the cooking registration's 11 till 12. And we don't really know who's going to turn up on the day, so it's quite exciting watching massive pumpkins turn up on trailers and trucks.
There's a category that creates a lot of excitement, and that's the under 200 kilogram category. Tell me about that.
We thought we'd add in another one to try and get people to compete in something different. So while you can go over 200 kilos, and a lot of the guys do, trying to get a pumpkin under 200 kilos is quite an effort, because if you're 1 kilo over, you're automatically in the heavier class. So you want to get a pumpkin that's as close to about 199 kilos as possible.
What expected weights are you hearing out there at the moment? What are you expecting to see at the carnival?
Last year we had 577 as the top weight. And
kilograms?
Kilograms, that is. And we're pretty certain that's going to be beaten this year. So we're probably looking at about 600 odd kilos, if not more.
The Great Pumpkin Carnival is at Hamilton Gardens on Sunday, the 30th of March. Fruits and veggies of all different sizes and tastes will be judged at the 2014 Farmers Market New Zealand Summer Producers Award in Tauranga on Saturday, the 29th of March. Hilary spoke with 2 of the organisers to find out more.
Okay, the Summer Producers Awards are actually an extension of the national awards that are held annually, and due to the high number of summer producers, they've brought this in now so they have a chance to join in.
Trixie, it won't just be about the awards though, will it? What other entertainment is there on the day?
Well, on the day, because there will be quite a substantial amount of produce available, we also have a funky fresh food cooking demonstration afterwards where they'll be using all that product, and our celebrity chefs Julie Busio and Peter Blakeway will be creating with the help of students from the Tauranga Boys College, and that'll be then available to the public afterwards. They can watch the whole thing.
There are a few different categories. One of the more interesting ones is dirt on the roots. What does that mean?
Dirt on the roots basically means it's a carrot or a spud or a parsnip, something that comes out of the ground that you have to wash, I suppose, is a good way of putting it, before you eat it.
There is also dirt off the roots though.
Well, dirt off the roots is the things that grow above the ground that you eat, like your silver beets and your lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers, all those sorts of things.
Tastiest pit fruit and juiciest stone fruit, those aren't kind of produce that I kind of associate with the bay. Does that mean those are going to be out-of-towners bringing that kind of produce in?
Yes, there will be. We have produce coming from all over New Zealand, hopefully, to these awards. It's not just about Tauranga, it's about all farmers markets in New Zealand who have some affiliation with Farmers Market New Zealand Association. So, yes, we will have fruit pouring in from all over New Zealand, we hope.
So how many producers will be competing?
Oh, look, that I can't tell you. That is very much going to happen on the day. I think at our last winter Producers Awards we had something like 100 entries, so we're hoping we'll get up there, but I don't know. I can't tell you the answer to that.
And does this directly mean that you guys are expecting quite a crowd?
Well, I hope so, given that Julie Bussio is coming in. I mean, she's such a national celebrity in the chefing world, and then teamed up with Peter Blakeway, who is very popular here in Tauranga. I'm sure that the crowds will come in to see that, and then the curiosity will kick in to see what these awards are all about. They've all heard about them in the past, but now they've got the opportunity to see them at school right here.
So when and where can we come along to the awards?
Okay, right here where we're standing now, Tauranga Primary School, and it's on the 29th of March, which is a Saturday. We're a Saturday morning market from 7:45 till 12, and we are anticipating the judging will start at 9, run through till approximately 10, and then after that we commence the cooking with the chefs.
Still to come, we discover who the Boobops are. And next on Central News, we speak with Dallas Fisher from the Chiefs Rugby Club. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. The Chiefs are striving for a Super Rugby three-peat and have started the season well with 3 wins from 3 games. I recently spoke with Chairman of the Chiefs Rugby Club, Dallas Fisher, to find out more about the boundary changes that include Taranaki and what this means for the Chiefs.
Yeah, substantial change, the boundary being changed and Taranaki becoming an investor in the Chiefs, along with our other provincial unions, but more importantly bringing that potential fan base into the region, into the Chiefs area. So that was driven by sort of 2 things really. Expanding the fan base, bringing another venue into the mix with Yarrow Stadium in New Plymouth, access to what is probably the best provincial union rugby player development organisation in New Zealand with Taranaki. They're very well run. So it's about players, it's about venues, it's about fan base.
Why did the boundaries change? Because they've changed a little bit in the history of the Chiefs, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I think of all of the teams we've changed by far the most. We've had 2 or 3 actually.
Yeah.
New Zealand Rugby Union wanted to change the teams from being franchises owned effectively by New Zealand Rugby Union to privately owned businesses. And so the opportunity came up for the Chiefs licence. Someone had to take the Chiefs licence. So the Chiefs organisation obviously was the primary vehicle for that. And we developed a 5-year business plan around that whole concept, and bringing Taranaki into the mix was part of that concept.
So tell me about the transition for the Chiefs from franchise to privately owned rugby club. For starters, you've got naming rights with Gallagher.
Yep, Gallagher's have come on board from 2016. At the moment it's B and Z, but we will become the Gallagher Chiefs in 2016. They're our principal partner. Very exciting. Gallagher represents a massive contribution to not just the Waikato community but the rural sector through that band of Bay of Plenty, Waikato counties and Taranaki. Plus they also have a very substantial business offshore, so their brand fitting with us was perfect. But the major change, I guess, is that we now have owners.
You're privately owned.
We're what we'll call a real business. Prior to this year, effectively the NZRU owned the club in a trust. We had no capital, so we had no money every year like all businesses have a capital that they can start their business, invest in different things and so on. We would start with 0 every year. So the main change is that the owners have invested capital, and we're taking that capital based on the 5-year plan and investing that capital in various areas in order to continue our success, to make us sustainable, and to continue to drive this sort of desire to be a totally world-class professional sporting organisation.
Dallas, thank you so much for coming in, and go the Chiefs.
Thank you very much.
The Chiefs play away in Perth this weekend, taking on a fired-up Western Force side. A local Dragon boating team, the Boobops, have won gold at the Wellington Regatta. The team of Bay of Plenty women are all breast cancer survivors and have also made national champs 3 years in a row. Hilary went along to a training session and found out what it means to the team.
It means that we defended our title, and that's what we wanted to do, and that was really important. And it also means an awful lot to the team and especially to the coach. So it's all about getting a good time and maintaining our momentum and retaining our titles.
Now, Julie, you guys are going to the Worlds. It sounds quite expensive to get 20 women there. Have you guys been doing lots of fundraising?
Absolutely. We've been fundraising for nearly 2 years now, and we do a whole heap of things like garage sales at flea markets, and we do sausage sizzles and movie nights and quiz nights. And
Singing at old people's homes.
we do heaps. Yeah, we've raised, we're getting
About 30,000.
coming up to 30,000. Yeah, but we've still got a wee way to go.
So can you tell us a little bit about the Worlds? I mean, where are they?
Sure, they're in Sarasota, which is in Florida, and there'll be 2,000 breast cancer survivors paddling there, so it's going to be massive, yeah. They happen every 2 years?
No more than that, about 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
This is the third year that you guys have won the national champs. Are you guys getting a little bit of a name for yourself in the dragon boating circles?
Yeah, it's pretty prestigious, isn't it, to be the national champs, and we've worked really hard to maintain our title, but they're
Closing the gap.
Closing the gap, yeah, so we're having to do extra training and really work on our fitness and, yeah, just to stay one step ahead.
I've got to know, what is behind the name Boob Ops?
Okay, well, it's a play on words. It's obviously, we're all breast cancer survivors, so it's boob ops, as in boob operations, but it's also a play on Bay of Plenty, which is where we represent.
How did it all start?
Well, the movement to do dragon boating started in Canada in the 80s. A doctor recognised dragon boating as one of the best sports for women who had breast cancer and for their recovery post-surgery, because there's a lot of women used to keep their arms still, and they recognised that they needed to change that and actually move our arms. So dragon boating was seen as the best sport to be doing that.
And how did you guys get together?
A group of women probably started off about 10 years ago. We've just had our 10th birthday, so yeah, they got together 10 years ago and fundraised like crazy to get enough money for a boat. They didn't have enough to have 100% breast cancer, so they had a team of supporters who also were in the boat who went breast cancer, and then over time we built up the numbers, which is unfortunate, but yeah.
Up next on Central News, we find out what the increasing popularity of e-books means to an author. Welcome back to Central News. With the increasing popularity of e-books and the closure of many publishing houses, it's becoming harder to be published as an author. A group of independent authors and small presses have joined forces to celebrate independence this March. Hilary went to the Tauranga City Library and spoke with one of the local authors to find out about her experiences as an author in these difficult times.
Jenny, tell me about some of the books that you've published.
I call myself nowadays, I call myself a literary midwife. My work is helping writers bring out the book that they want to publish. I've worked with authors on about 40 books in the last few years, which has been fun, but the two most recent are Sinners and Other Saints by Nancy Crouchman and Closing the Gap by John Mack, and I'm very much looking forward to the launch next week, because it's a very intimate process working with somebody on a book. It's like their baby, and you come along and you say, you could do this better, or let's tweak that, or oh dear, that needs to come out, and don't like the cover. And so it ends up as a joint enterprise, but you have to be very careful all the time when you're working with authors that what remains is their voice, their message, what it is that they want to say. And that's what's so exciting about it, is because you share that journey for the duration of the book. And it's even more exciting for me because New Zealand is unique in the world for being a hard market to flourish as a writer. It's the only English-speaking country that doesn't have a print-on-demand representative here, an Amazon representative, BookBaby, all of the other agencies that are there to help you. The nearest is Australia, so we're always going to be at a disadvantage because anybody ordering our books has got to pay freight. And so we've been looking creatively at ways to get around that, ways to utilise the international market for us, but also to retain local control. And that's been an interesting journey too.
What are some of the options? I mean, how do we take back control?
Well, if you were to have a discussion with any indie author or publisher, they would all have their different options. But I think it's very important to stay Kiwi with your book, to have enough copies in your car or in your briefcase so that you can sell them on demand, as it were, to have enough for a launch. A launch is a really exciting occasion for an author, particularly a first-time author, and to have copies to send out to review magazines, you know, The Listener or whatever, anybody you can get to review your book in the paper. Local papers here are very good, and most community papers will give local authors a fair deal. And we're also looking at distribution and how to overcome some of the disadvantages of being a New Zealand writer.
It sounds like it's going a little bit, you know, back to the old way of that self-promoting.
Well, I took my book of poems, Working in the Cracks Between, up to the Auckland Society of Authors AGM, thinking I might sell the 6 when I got there, and I sold them on the way, which I thought this could only happen in New Zealand, really. You know, and it's fun. And somebody goes off and they've got your book, they've got your thoughts, they've got your philosophy, and a lot of them will come back and say, I want to do that too, and that's where I like to step in.
You can find more details on Indie Book Month at the Tauranga City Library. Let's take a look at the weather for the weekend now. Firstly, for Waikato for Saturday, fine in Hamilton, maybe an afternoon shower, expect a high of 25 degrees. Pāroa, fine with a high of 24. Matamata, high of 22 degrees expected, fine weather. And Te Awamutu, fine with a high of 25, low of 9 overnight. Tokoroa, your high for Saturday, 22 degrees. Taking a look at the Bay of Plenty now, and Tauranga is expecting a fine Saturday also, 23 degrees your high. Te Puke, fine with a high of 21. Looking ahead to Sunday, and the Waikato can expect a sunny Sunday with the odd shower and sou'easterlies. High of 24 degrees for Hamilton. Pāroa expect a warm high, 23 degrees, and Matamata the same with 21. Te Awamutu, sunny with a few showers in the afternoon and a high of 21 degrees. Tokoroa, 23 your high with a low of 13 overnight. To the Bay of Plenty, where a sunny day is expected for Sunday, maybe the odd afternoon shower and a high of 23 degrees expected in Tauranga. Te Puke, expect a high 21 degrees. That's Central News for this week. Make sure you like us on our Facebook page and let us know if there's news or an event in your community. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you Monday. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. Ka kite anō.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.